Alrighty, so I'm going to call this meeting to order at 5:03 p.m. on April 19th. Doing our roll call attendance, we have me, Xander Johnson, Alice Williams, Nicholas Villa, Aaron Sargent, Joey Bryant, and then Mia Young. Do I need to mention the folks who aren't here or who are here that aren't on the committee? There we go.
We do have a new member on the committee. Is that what you're about to say, Mia? Yep. So Yahir is actually a new member who got appointed by student government this week. Yahir, I don't know if you have the ability to introduce yourself or not. We're excited to have you here. If you are able to turn your mic on, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Can you hear me first?
It is very, very quiet,
Can you guys hear me now?
like a whisper.
I'm getting captions that Yahir is talking, but I'm not hearing anything.
Something real quick.
If not, that is totally okay. We are excited to have you here and joining the committee. You can feel free if we can't hear you, you can just type into the chat and join in and just kind of follow along with what we're doing. But let us know if you have any questions, but we're very excited to have you joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the other folks that are here, do they need to be mentioned for attendance purposes?
Not for attendance. You can still mention them on there.
Okay. We've also got, I'm sorry if I mess up anyone's last names. We've got Gretchen Lowe's and Jennifer Green, and that's it. But now that we've got that out of the way, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve our agenda today.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Excellent. Do we have a second? Oh, perfect. All right, let's vote. Okay.
And since Yahir is new, Yahir on these ones where you are a voting member, you can either, if you have a camera gesture, or you can do a hand reaction, hand up, thumbs up signal to vote yes or no to things.
Excellent.
So you got three yays, Xander.
Then fantastic. That motion passes. So let's move on to approving our minutes from last week. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes from last week, 4/12/24.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from 4/12/24.
I'll second.
Excellent. Let's vote. Okay, I see Nick. I see you here. Looking for Alice here. Yeah, okay. Perfect. We are unanimous. So our minutes have been approved. On the chair side, or on the report side, I don't have any reports. Do our advisors?
I was just going to mention that we're still working on getting all of the budget planning documents out to the different areas for S&A. My intent was to do it by the end of last week, but it's pretty wild up there. So it's still an ongoing process, and we are recommending that their budgeting be reduced by 15% tentatively based on what is decided next year, but based on head count and enrollment, it doesn't look like that recommendation will change between now and then, but we are having them sort of plan on that amount, and then maybe there will be good news on the horizon, but that's kind of the direction we're headed.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you for that. Joey, do you have anything?
Only just a brief reminder, heads up to you all, because I know we're in spring quarter. I have let a couple folks know as it relates to supplemental requests, so you can look on our website and see our last meetings coming up. We have about 5 more on the calendar after this one before the end of the quarter. We do have, if needed, a tentative one for that very last day of classes, but that is 5 p.m. the last day of classes, so we will see. But what we've let people know, if there are any additional supplemental requests, to really aim for getting those submitted no later than Friday, May 10th. So I thought I'd share that with you all. That gives us a week's notice so we know and can get them on the calendar for the 17th where they would present and you all would vote for the 24th. So as a last ditch piece. So since we're sharing that with people who are asking, I want to make sure you are all aware as well. But that's all I got.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you for that. And then after we've done that, let's hop over to ASCBU. Any reports from you guys?
Yeah, I don't have much, but this week Path is gonna be, or I guess this coming up week is Path's gonna be having their Show Up Speak Out event. If you guys are interested, it is April 24th, 5 through 7. There will be a march. It's just kind of in support of sexual assault victims. It's their 3rd annual event. And if you guys are interested, the 23rd from 10 till 6 in the ACW office, we'll be making posters for their march. If you guys are interested in attending that as well. Other than that, I don't really have anything else to report, and I yield the rest of my time.
Okay, fantastic. That sounds excellent. We should definitely go out and support them. Let's move on to communications received. Have we received any communications?
No, we have not, Xander.
Okay, fantastic. Then let's move on to our first round of public comments. Anyone want to publicly comment?
So this Sunday is going to be Showtime. For anyone that doesn't know what Showtime is, this is an event held every year by the Black Student Union, and it's this really fun event where it's like a talent show, except you could boo the people off stage. So don't be too mean, but also if you're a bit of a hater, this might be for you. It's this Sunday. I don't know exactly what time, but I can find out and I'll update that in the minutes accordingly.
Okay, that sounds exciting. I also would like to publicly comment. I am employed by the CWU Learning Commons, and we are putting on an event. It is called Pizza Punctuality. I believe it's on the 23rd and 24th of this month from 5 to 7 in room 101 in the Brooks Library. You can come learn about time management, play Papa's Pizzeria, and get some free pizza. So if you played that game when you were a kid, maybe come and check it out again. And yeah, I have no more comments.
Nick has a public comment.
Speaking about Showtime, ACWU will be performing. So if you guys either want to boo or cheer, we will be there.
Okay.
Just
Excellent.
wanted to add that it is this Sunday at 8 to 10 p.m. But doors open at 7:30. There'll be skits, live music, and more. Free for all. The audience votes, and there's a $100 cash prize. Doesn't say where, but I'm going to assume somewhere in the circ.
Okay. Excellent. Do we have any more public comments?
I guess I'll share on the same vein. In addition to that, if you all have time set aside, the CWU Orchesis, our dance group, has their performances already started this week, but they have tonight, tomorrow, and I believe maybe on Sunday, but definitely tonight and tomorrow. So this weekend. And so definitely great to go check out, see. I believe they have 12 performances, 12 pieces in the performances. And so definitely if you get a chance, go check that out and support those students as well.
Okay. Fantastic. So now that we've gotten that, let's move on to our new business, which is a supplemental funding request, a presentation for supplemental funding request 2408 from Pulse.
Yep, that would be me. Let me just share my screen real quick. Is everyone able to see that presentation okay?
Yep, it's coming through.
Excellent. Well, thank you guys so much for having us back for the supplemental request. Did want to start off with a little bit of good news for the ACP conference that we sent our students to San Diego to last month, which was one of the supplemental requests we had previously presented, and you guys agreed to fund us. We won multiple awards, so we want to just give a shout out to our students real quick. They did great work. And we just wanted to remind you a little bit of what Pulse is. We're an award-winning publication, a lifestyle magazine here on campus. We offer in-depth deep dives into evolving news stories, and we've won awards for that, including our on-campus jobs Worth It, which I believe I'll actually leave that to Jennifer to say who wrote that because I don't completely remember, but we also won Best Design for Ellensburg Birds. So we are a nationally recognized publication, and we've competed with bigger and richer programs, quite frankly, and we're still winning these awards. So it's we're a really strong high impact program. Of course, we're by the students for the students. We're of course we're funded by S&A. We know that the community reads us, the community enjoys us. Our copies disappear very quickly every quarter. And the students that make up our staff are interdisciplinary. We have people from communication, film, art, English, and more. We have designers on staff, writers, editors, photographers. And we get regular requests for collaborations and coverage from campus departments and programs. So we're very involved in the central community. We wanted to come to you today to kind of talk about a big problem that's facing our program, which is an increase in wages and printing costs. The Washington minimum wage was raised again on January 1st, 2024 to $16.28 an hour, which was about a 54%, not 54%, 54-cent increase from last year. As you can see on this graph, kind of on the lower left, our wages have kind of been up and down. With the increase in minimum wage, we have tried to cut hours to compensate for that, which is why you see that fluctuation. But it's just getting to the point where we only have 2 or 3 people on staff right now, and their hours are very limited. They're not hitting the 20-hour mark by any means. The most our editors are getting is 10 hours a week. So we're not being lavish with our hours or anything. We've really cut down to try to compensate for that minimum wage. And then our printing costs, the production costs it takes to actually produce the magazine, hard copy, has gone up quite significantly, and the trend is continuously to going up. So just to give you some reference, in 2019, we spent about $10.5 thousand. This year, we're projected to end with 16.2. So it's been a significant increase since before the pandemic to now. So to look at our budget currently, we started off, if you can kind of see here, we started off with a deficit this year of $8.7 thousand. We've actually gained a lot of ground and recovered about 3,600 of that to only be projected to end with a 5.1 deficit for this year. And we've done that by trying to compensate for the minimum wage and trying to be smart with our printing costs and everything, but it's still really hard to publish this magazine in such a dire state. If you take a look at what these numbers represent, we have about 2,600 remaining dollars to be spent on salaries, and about another round of printing, which will cost about $5,300 for the remainder of the year, which is going to bring those projected expenses up to almost $8,000 for the end of the year. But that is what's tied into what we're going to have a $5,100 deficit. And that's kind of what we're asking for today. So you'll actually notice this is a little bit lower than our initial request. That's because March actuals came in and we weren't in as dire of a strait as we thought. But so this is probably a more accurate number of where we're going to end with the end of the year. We'll end with 5123 in the red. And that's what we're asking you to help us cover so that we can help cover that printing cost and keep our staff around. Really what we're asking you is to help support student media. It's a regional and national impact that our magazine has, and it also provides entertainment to CWU students. Not only that, it supports the students and it allows a practical course for students who are interested in media and journalism, photography and design to explore that interest. And it informs students about the campus and Ellensburg community as a whole. So we really thank you for your time and allowing us to come and speak to you today. We're open to take any questions.
Does anybody have any questions that we'd like to ask the folks from Pulse?
I don't think I have a specific question, but kind of how you went over your presentation. You guys sound like you really trying to not be in a deficit this year,
Mhm.
and with the excessive amount of, or the increased amount of printing those costs, it seems to be really affecting as well as minimum wage increase. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Xander, this isn't a question, but I realize since this is here's first meeting, I want to explain what
Yeah.
we're doing in the process in case
For
there are
sure, for
questions.
sure.
So just so as a reminder for some, but as new, so really what this is we have a supplemental request. So Pulse is coming in to ask for these additional funds. The way our process works is they present to us this week. You all have the ability to ask questions that you need. Then we discuss it at next week's meeting and deliberate and vote on it. And so this is really kind of thinking through what questions you might need or information you might need to decide whether or not you would vote in favor of or in opposition or make a motion for a different amount within all of this, if that helps. And since if your microphone's not working, you can always put questions in the chat and we can relay them as well. But also knowing it's your first meeting, you may not have things in mind too. Sorry, Xander, I just wanted to give that primer.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I thought it was a very thorough presentation. It was interesting to note that it's gone down that what y'all need now since the original request, and as Nick said, y'all are already making moves to work on this deficit, so I don't really have any questions. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And I will comment that March actuals were probably down a little bit just because of spring break and students not working that week, which is probably why the forecasted amount prior to the March actuals was a little bit higher. So it's likely that the salaries for April, May, and June are accurate because there will be no breaks there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. Well, if we don't have any other questions, I appreciate the presentation that you gave. It was a very, very well thought out, very well made presentation. And I think it laid out all the facts very well. But I think, if there are no other questions, we would move on, right?
Yep, and we limit. I mean, thank you both for being here and coming to present. And then next week we'll have this on the agenda where they'll be discussing and voting, and so we'll definitely give you an update, or you can check in and tune into the meeting as well. So
okay, well, thank you guys so much.
Thank
Bye.
you. Okay. Well, let's move on to our old business, where we are looking at the service and activities fee guidelines, and we are reviewing and updating them. So previously we had tabled that to let Jared have a look at them before we voted, but Jared is absent. So what should we do about that?
and I'm double checking on the side. I do not believe I received any additional edits or feedback from Jared on it. I know he had the chance to look it over. I did not. So I don't know, Mia, if you received anything. So to my knowledge, there's not any additional edits or feedback from Jared. He did have the week to look it over. I know he's not here to answer or say anything. So at this point, it goes to you all. We have the recommended edits. We have them on the website. I can pull them back up too if we need, but the question for you all is really at this point, you have two options. One, if we really don't think there's any additional edits or comments, then you all could discuss them and we can go back over them if you'd like. And so I'll kind of leave it to you all if we want to do a brief summary of what all we were looking at. In terms of action steps, it would either be no action and nothing happens. We table it to where we discuss it again next week. or someone potentially make a motion to move forward with these recommended updates. But I don't know if you all would like a quick refresher of what's in there, what we're looking at, or if you have questions or any other comments. So
I
I'll
mean,
turn it back.
I remember looking at it when we looked at it before, and all the only things I could really think of were like the most nitpicky of like verbiage that I'd happily motion for this as it is.
Yeah, even though I'm acting as chair for this one, I won't be able to vote. I agree. I do. My only thought is, Yahir, I know you just joined, but if you were interested in having a look at the potential edits before we voted, that would be totally understandable, and we could table it to next week if you want. Sorry.
Can you hear me? Or no? Can you hear me?
Just is like the
A little bit.
faintest whisper.
I don't know why, but oh, I can hear myself. I did read through it, and it looked good to me, like just on my first read. But if we want, we can table it and we can discuss it next week.
If it looks good to you, and I mean, unfortunately, Jared's absent, but I imagine if he had a big issue with it, he would have said something. To either Mia or to Joey. I know that I'm not able to motion right now, but I guess I'll say that we should probably do it. I don't know if I can do that, but
You can, Xander, you can always entertain a motion
okay.
that
Then I'd
someone
like
can
to.
respond to.
Then I'd like to entertain a motion that we vote to approve the edits as we have put them out previously.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the edits as we've currently discussed.
I'll second.
Okay, then let's vote. I suppose all in favor. Let's. Yeah. Okay, I see Nick. I see Alice, and I see here. Excellent. So then that motion passes, and those changes will be put into effect, I imagine.
Well, I'll give a brief. So what'll happen as a reminder is those will get passed up to both the Vice President of Student Engagement and Success, since that's where this policy lives, but also the Senior Vice President of Finance and Administration. They'll go through, if there's any concerns that get sent back to you all, ideally, they will say, no, this looks great. And then it goes to the University Policy Committee and ultimately the Board of Trustees. But I don't foresee anything in here that will cause issue or concern. But if so, it gets sent back to you all. So they can't just deny it or change things without your all's awareness and approval.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, I should have remembered that. I'm sorry.
It's Fridays, Andrew. You're totally good.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Well, now that we've kind of moved through this meeting pretty promptly, so let's go to our second call for public comment. If anyone would like to publicly comment, now is the time. Again. Okay, seeing none, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn our meeting here.
Yeah, I'll motion to adjourn the meeting. Oh, sorry,
Okay.
Nick.
No, it's okay. I'll second.
Excellent. Let's vote. Okay, I see Nick. I see Alice. And let me scroll over here. And there's you here. Okay, so that passes. I hope you'll have a lovely weekend. Yeah, our meeting is adjourned.
Have a great weekend, folks.
Bye, everyone.